Welcome, everybody, to a Thursday night edition of Chiefs Focus First and 10, right before the Super Bowl. What's up, Caleb?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just, living large. Not really. Living the dream. Just hanging out, waiting for this game Sunday. It's crazy. I heard something that I was kind of confused about. They said this was one of the most anticipated Super Bowls in recent history. And I'm really kind of confused on that. And I don't know if that's because they think that the Rams are going to a lot of people are picking the Rams, understandably, but I don't know if it's because they think that it's going to be a blowout style or if they think it's going to be a really close game. I'm not real sure. If it's going to be a defensive game, the Rams are going to win it all day long. If it's going to be an offensive game, you got experience with a great offense with the Rams and an awesome defense.
Yep.
Compared to a non-experienced team that really probably shouldn't be in the Super Bowl right now. And I'm not saying that for any other reason as they shouldn't. And a mediocre defense. So, I picked the Rams at the beginning of the season and I pick them to win the Super Bowl now because they're not playing us. So, let's see what happens. What's your take on that part of it?
Hey, man. I think one thing I want to say, I think it's kind of ridiculous that these ticket prices are that expensive.
Oh my God.
It makes it to where the regular fan can't even go.
No.
It's for all the fans who have all this crazy wealth. They are able to go. And it's like you and me. I mean, you could go because you've been working a long time, but it's like these a regular fan, like I can't even go.
Dude,
so
I
know they're
the
trying to make
on that.
I know, if the Chiefs were going to me, I would try to, but it's like the money is just ridiculous. You make you pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a nosebleed.
Yeah.
In my opinion, personally, it makes no sense, but that's just me.
That's absolutely insane. I mean, it's no different than the Pro Bowl. I mean, my guy.
It shouldn't be that ridiculous, though.
No.
This should be an event where everybody can come together, but it's like only if you got money, it seems like you're able to, or if you know somebody. But I mean, that's kind of how that's the world we live in. That's kind of the different things that happen, unfortunately.
Well, crazily enough, that's how boxing used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the day, especially when Tyson was fighting, people would pay $5,000 to $10,000 a seat, just to sit, first, second row, and by the ring. Some of them were more. I mean, they even got up, higher than that. But that was years ago when they were paying that kind of money. I think they're trying to make up for lost revenue, which is okay. Yep. But in the same aspect, you got to realize that, I mean, there's people out there, and the sad part is that it's like a gambling addiction. You got people out there that will not make their house payment for a couple straight months to buy a Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah, I'm not in that. I'm not going to do that.
No,
I'm going to make sure my family's taken care of before that. And
damn, Skippy.
I like football, but I'm going to watch it on free. I'm going to play that bill. I'm going to pay that cable bill or play that sling bill or get an antenna. I'm going to call it there.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane that, I understand they're trying to draw in all the revenue they can, but in the same aspect, they got to realize that there's regular fans that want to go to that game just as badly as everybody else. When I was looking, before my media guy flaked out, I kind of looked just to see if I can get a ticket that was closer to the field. $1,300.
That's too much money for a Pro Bowl ticket. To see them play two-hand touch. Now, come on.
Yeah,
now, if this is for charity, then sell these tickets a little bit cheaper.
Exactly. I mean, they had nosebleed seats that you can get for like $80-$90, but
that's not worth it.
It's not, because then when you're up there, especially at Allegiant, they don't let you go past your area. So if you wanted to go down, now, of course, I may have seen somebody I knew and they would have let me in and got down there closer. But in the same aspect, if I didn't see somebody I knew, or if I didn't have somebody vouch for me, I wouldn't have been able to leave the area that I would have been in if I would have bought mediocre tickets the mediocre tickets were $800.
Yeah,
the middle of the road.
That's a lot of money, man. A lot of money.
A lot of money to go watch two-hand touch flag football. I mean, I'm just not going to.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the two-hand touch football?
After all the years that I watched players get injured in the Pro Bowl, and some, inevitably, never really recovered from it, I kind of understand it because it is for charity. And these guys aren't out there to hurt themselves. It's an exhibition match. and they're really out there to, and look, it's designed to have fun, to hang out with the other 88 best players in the league and enjoy yourself. You know, you got a week of enjoyment, and the last thing you want to do is go out there and get hurt. I mean, I get
That's
it,
true.
especially for a meaningless game.
Mhm.
When I say meaningless, it's not, you know, I don't mean because of the charity part of it. I mean because of the fact that
You
it's
win, you get an extra couple $100,000. I mean, that's kind of it.
yeah. I mean, it's not like you're getting anything special for it. You're not. You're out there to have fun, and you know, looking at Tyrann Mathieu and um, Frank Clark and Chris Jones. I mean, I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes and all the other guys that were out there with their families having a good time. Tyreek Hill had his son out there practicing with him, you know, actually helping him with his, you know, wide receiver
Mhm.
exhibitions and everything else that they were doing. His son was at every single thing he did, every match they had,
Mhm.
whatever it was, his son was right next to him. And I
That's
think
good.
that's absolutely awesome. Um, and Tyrann Mathieu was no different. You know, they're stand-up family guys that love their kids, and when they got an opportunity to go to a place that they can enjoy it, their kids are old enough to
Yeah.
understand who they are
Mhm.
and realize that my dad is, you know, one of the best in the league.
Mhm.
I could get on the field with him and all these
That's
other
pretty
players.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, his Tyreek's son was having a blast. He's out there fist bumping all the players when they did what they did and having a good time dancing. I mean, they just had a blast, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's what
it's
it's
kind of
for.
yeah.
You know,
It
it's
just
not for beating each other up, man. I mean, it's just not.
yeah. I just kind of hope they change something in the future, make it a little bit more entertaining. But I mean, if that's what they're gonna do, I mean, I don't fault the players. I can't fault the players, but
No, they don't want to hurt
and
themselves, dude. They're
it's
making too
something
much
more the
money now.
NFL has to figure out. Okay, what are we gonna do? What's gonna be added? So I mean, but
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. They need to add more entertainment. Um, I think I don't know if it's so much of, you know, the contact into the game, but they need to add more entertainment to the Pro Bowl besides just, you know, the exhibitions and the mat, you know, all
mhm,
the competitions that they have and things of that nature.
mhm.
Russell Wilson, by the way, killed the passing competition.
That's what I saw. He's Russell Wilson's accurate. So whoever gets him this free agency to see if he decides to go somewhere, they're gonna be in a good spot.
They are. They are.
Hmm.
He's accurate as hell. I mean, I think he has the highest score of anyone now in the passing competition.
Hmm.
He drilled the fours. He drilled a five on the way down, and the ball dropped with the five, and he nailed it dead nut center.
Oh, nice.
I mean, he was just on fire. The guy, he's excellent accuracy.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I looked at some of the other guys that were out there that didn't do so well. And they're, you know, these are, you know, supposed high power quarterbacks. And I was kind of like, wow, I mean, this wasn't what I expected out of some of these guys. Then you had guys that weren't quarterbacks out there trying it, which was comical. That was the fun
Oh
part,
yeah.
you know, to watch a wide receiver that's never really thrown a football, you know, as far as any competition is concerned, and missed the mark on almost every one of them. It was
Mhm.
great. You know, it was comical, and he made fun of himself, and everybody made fun of him with him. You know, they all had fun. That's the point of it. It's just to have fun and get and give a charity what they deserve. You know, I mean, that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
So,
We are not wrong there, man. You are not
yeah,
wrong there. I'm just
yeah,
hoping they could do some, maybe change something in the future. Maybe it would be nice to see.
yeah. I think they could add some more entertainment to it and do some different things. You know, because it's a week long situation that you're in, and they could do a lot of different things to add to the entertainment end of it. But
Hmm.
as far as, you know, players hitting each other and going through all that, I think it's a good idea that they did what they did. I mean, you don't want to get hurt. Some of
That's
those
true.
guys were older, you know, that made it. And props to Patrick Mahomes. Props to Patrick Mahomes. Fourth year starting, fourth year in the Pro Bowl, or Pro Bowl dominated. Um, you know, Frank Clark made it. Tyrann Mathieu deserved to be there. He was still one of the top five safeties in the league this year, even though he played injured. That nobody really wants to, especially some of the trolls in Cheese Kingdom, don't want to acknowledge the fact that he played injured for 6-8 weeks. He a great family guy, loves his family, loves the city of Kansas City, regardless of the trolls, and he's planted roots, and I commend the guy for everything he's doing. I don't know if there was a couple guys that maybe shouldn't have been there. Voted the top 88 players in the league, but it is what it is, man. I mean, you only got so many you can vote for, and and then you got to remember these guys are voted on by people that may not like them. They may not get the interview they want. They may not get and then you have guys like Brady that has been to one in 21 years because he doesn't want to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're in that entertainment, and the NFL is marked as an entertainment business to a degree, and it's actually, I think it's actually, its business aspect or its business model is entertainment industry, but you still have to participate, but he doesn't want to. So it is what it is. Now he wants to go play for the 49ers. Did you hear that one?
No, I did not hear that one. I mean, he says he's retired, but nothing would surprise me because Brady sure likes attention.
That's the only reason he's doing this. I think if he went, like we had broke the story years, before he went to the Bucks, he wanted to go to LA and play in that market because
it was a report he's going to go to the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers and then the 49ers, and then he actually had a little bit of ties to the Rams at one point, but that was like in and out, gone fairly quickly. But and we broke that story then, and we actually said, I remember us talking about this on the show, and what we said is that he will end up in a market that has 3 other horrible football teams, and that's exactly what happened.
Behold, was the Bucks in the NFC South. All he had was deal with Drew Brees.
Exactly, and honestly, that was for 1 year, and then
1 year. And he still couldn't beat. The only time he's beaten them in the playoffs. Every time he's playing in the regular season, they have lost.
Yeah.
So,
and they shut him out. Without his two of his best wide receivers, he got shut out. But that, what that is right there, though, man, that's karma.
Yeah, that is.
That's karma. Because if you're too arrogant to work out with your second string and third string and fourth string wide receivers, and when they have to step in and play, and you're too friggin' arrogant to work out with them during the season or even in the off season, that's what you get. You get guys that drop footballs that don't want to play for you, that could care less if they're catching a ball from Tom Brady or friggin' Trent Dilfer. They don't care because they don't like you. I mean, it
just shows you it's a team game, and this is a team game. It showed you fine with Tom Brady. So
yeah. So hey, real quick, we broke a story last year about Allen Robinson and a trade that was trying to happen between the Chiefs and the Bears. And Nagy couldn't get it pulled off.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? And
yeah, I remember. Yeah, we were talking about that.
And then it came out afterwards that was, what happened. But I think it was a week later they finally announced that that's what was, happened. But from what I understand, they are still now they're actively looking for him, or actively talking, I guess, trying to get something done. The Chiefs and Allen Robinson.
Hey, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
he could help.
Don't know if it's going to happen. I can't say if it will or won't. All I can say is that after we said it on the show a week ago, it got posted by a large outlet, and I put it out on Twitter, actually on our Chiefs Focus page. I said, you guys ought to listen to our show because we said this last week. But it's if is it a viable situation, or can it happen? It can. Cost wise, I don't know. It would have to be structured in a way that, like all of our other players that are going to last, 10 years in the way our contracts are structured. So is it a viable thing? Yeah. Is it something that he wants? He said he wanted to play here. In fact, last year when that trade tried to go down, he was extremely happy about the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen
I
again.
mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you add him, you got a deep red receiver, someone who can jump, who can be a jump ball guy. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer move. I think it could really, really help.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a great player that deserves to play for a good football or great football team.
Mhm.
And he would fit in our scheme very well. But that's neither here nor there.
I
We
agree.
just
I
have to
agree
see
with
and
you
wait
from
what
that
happens.
standpoint.
But it looks like, there is talks, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, if we can pick him up, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
That would be awesome for the team because we have finally a deep threat receiver that can help us, and that's something we have been missing for quite some time.
yep,
And hopefully that can work.
yep.
I'm hoping, man.
Out of your
Qu-
question for you.
Okay.
A lot of talk about Juju because he said he wanted to play for the Chiefs. Are you in or out on him?
Out. No,
Thank you.
I don't want. There's no point to add Juju. I don't see him adding nothing special to this team. You
No.
get someone else. Not saying because it was TikTok stuff. I'm just saying based off of he had a chance to be here. Didn't want to be here because he wasn't getting the targets. So it's like, bro, you're gonna come to the same situation. I'd rather have someone else that's an all-around better receiver.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point of doing that with Juju per se. I see bringing someone like Allen Robinson or possibly bringing someone else in that could really help this team. And also adding Josh Gordon. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point of adding Juju because it's like when you look at it in the day, Juju is a very good receiver. I just feel like he won't buy into the system because he seems like from what I've seen, it's all like if I don't get the ball, it's gonna be a problem. Not saying he's AB,
Why
but
didn't sign last year?
he didn't sign last year. He's like, well, I'm not gonna get the targets. Okay, well then that's what you get. Why are you gonna try to come back now?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that because I'm out on him too, and all these Chiefs fans that are all pumped up about him. I don't think that. Look, and not only that, how many games did he play last year? 3. I want to say played 3 games, got injured, was out pretty much the entire season, then came back for the playoffs against us.
I think.
Yeah. So he's injury prone, and I am going to say something about his TikTok videos because he's more interested in building his brand than he is building his future in the NFL.
More kind of eye and team.
Exactly.
And
I've
Juju,
never seen that eye. Have you ever found that eye? I can't find that eye anywhere. I've been looking for years.
Well, he's a good player. Juju's a good player. But what I've noticed when it comes to him at the end of the day with this team, it's just not going to work out.
No.
You need someone's consistent week in and week out. Allen Robinson's been consistent, even though he's had terrible quarterbacks. In Chicago, he's been pretty consistent. So just adding someone like him in this type of offense, now hopefully he can learn the playbook. Andy and them can figure it out. But I think he can be really beneficial moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, you bring in somebody like him and you bring in somebody, and you, along with the weapons that you already have, with Tyreek and McCole and Pringle, of course, you bring him back. And then you also have McKinnon that's just turned out to be a beast.
Would you re-sign McKinnon?
In a heartbeat.
I'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. He proved he can play and help us. And I'd rather have him as our scat back, maybe than moving from CEH, if we're just being honest.
I would too.
Now, we haven't seen a bigger sample size of McKinnon, but I think there's a really good chance he could do something.
Yeah, I mean, he's great out of the backfield. He's great in the wide receiver position. He gets skinny. He's got great cuts. He can break some ankles when he needs to. He's very secure with the ball. So I would definitely bring him back. The 3 guys that we have, and what's your opinion on this? You got 4 really, but you got Darrell Williams, you got CEH, McKinnon, and Gore. If you had to cut one of those guys, who would it be?
To put him on practice squad?
Or just
cut saying they're not
cut
going to be on the team.
or cut or practice squad. Who would you put on the? I would say let's just put it this way: flat out cut right now. Who would it be?
I don't know, man. This one's tough. I guess it would have to be Gore because you don't know really what CH is going to do. Clyde's going to do.
Yeah.
You can probably find another Gore. That's the thing. Can you find another CH? I mean, that's kind of the risk they're taking, but knowing Vichi's able to find good running backs to kind of step in.
Yeah.
So I'm not nervous from that standpoint, but I think that's kind of what they would cut Gore before anyone else.
Yeah. I think they would too. I mean, CEH is injury prone. He's been injured every year he's been in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I said on past shows that I thought he would, in my opinion, should be the third down back, or the third back. So if you really look at it, I think Darrell Williams is definitely an asset. McKenna is definitely an asset. CEH can be an asset as long as he stays on the field for, a minimum. I mean, if he could stay on the field for 16 games, that would be great. But Gore has had some highlight reels, and then he's had some not so great times. Our system doesn't really cater to running backs as well. It will now, given the fact that we have an offensive line.
The issue is that they don't want to run the ball when it's appropriate.
Correct.
They want to pass, like Eli Apple, who's not a good cornerback. Was like, they've thrown it. We had 8 people in coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cornerback's dream.
Yeah.
You got to run the ball, and that falls on Andy, and that's what we said on that podcast that night. Andy's too loyal. He wants to continue to pass the ball. You got to learn how to run. You literally overcompensate on the offense line to do different things like that, and you failed to do it. The Chiefs would be in the Super Bowl if they would have continued to run the ball and let Andy call the play calls. But that's a whole nother story for another day.
Yeah. Well, when you're marketing somebody to get a job, to get him the hell out of here, I to a degree, a very small degree, I understand it. I mean, it's not. It's a small degree. I understand it. It's I guess I get the move to a small degree, but I think that
it just hurt the team in the end.
It hurt the team.
And you wasted a year of Mahomes going to the Super Bowl. Even if he lost, that's saying he's made it to the Super Bowl 3 straight years. That's something that not many other people have done.
No, I don't know how many other than the 70s. There were some 70s teams.
I mean, the Bills went to 4 straight and lost, but to go to 3 and 1 win, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you never know what could happen. The offense could figure out something that day and beat the Rams.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff from that standpoint, but I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly. So, I don't know, man. Just wanted your input on that because I've been hearing a lot of chatter. So,
Well, you're good, man. You're good.
Yep.
What was your thoughts on that trade scenario? Carrington Harris from Sports Radio 610 put out saying he would trade Creed Humphrey straight up for T. Higgins from the Bengals. What was your thoughts on that trade? Or did you hear that?
Probably a horrible take. And I mean, it's a horrible take. It's a terrible take. There's, I don't even understand why he would even put that out. That is one of the most valued positions in football. And Creed has exceeded everyone's expectations. You're not going to find another one like him. You're just not. And as far as the opposite end of that, you really don't need a T. Higgins as much as you need a Creed Humphrey.
You can find someone. I just makes no sense to trade that away.
No, well, you're not going to find another Creed. I'm sorry, but that guy, he did things this year that no other rookie's ever done in that position. And I think he was kind of shit on as far as the, and I understand offensive line, blah, 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 but I still wouldn't have, I think he deserved a nod, and I don't think he got it. I don't even think he was in the running.
For Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
He got 3 votes.
3 votes.
Justin Jefferson, not Jeff, Jamar Chase won it. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, he had a fantastic season.
Well, yeah,
but we see when it comes down
to motherfucker.
I mean, when you see it, they really be. It's just they be focusing more on touchdowns and outputs. So it's kind of like offense. In order for an offensive lineman to even win an award like that, they have to be special. And be honest, they're gonna find a way not to give it to one.
As much as we would like to, you're right. That sucks because honestly, without a great offensive line, you see what's happened to people.
Yeah, I mean, Joe. Yeah, it shows you. Like Joe Burrow, and I mean, it's terrible offensive line he had. He had to basically figure it out like by himself, and I mean that's kind of what ended up happening.
And I got to give the guy this. I mean, he toughed it out because to get sacked, I think 68 times is what his sack total was. And then to get sacked 9 more times in one playoff game. And then I think it was 5 or 6 more times in another one. And then of course we only got to him, 2 or 3 times, but
Yep.
That's a lot of damn sacks to take in one season and still be upright. So you got to give the guy credit for that at least. I mean, he's accurate. I'm going to say that.
He is.
Do I think he belongs in the Super Bowl? No, I don't. I don't think he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback right now. I think that in reality, things play out for a reason. It could be marketing. It could be a lot of different things that can change the course of a season for a team, especially now. I don't get into all the conspiracy theories and all the other shit, about being rigged and all that stuff, but they did put a lot of hype on him this year.
They did. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I watched a lot of Joe Burrow LSU, and I thought he was good. I'm just gonna say one thing. They put all that money in the defensive line. The defense line failed them. I really can't get mad at Chris Jones because Chris Jones is really more of a run stopper in the middle. I kind of gotta get more mad at the edge guys. Yeah. Frank Clark's making all that money. Can't get to no one. Mel Ingram did his thing, but I kind of expect him to get a couple more sacks. Okafor, why did we bring him back? He did not really do anything for us. Just looking at the moves we made was terrible. If there was one proposed move, we need to bring back Emmanuel Ogbah. We should have never let him go in the first place.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I never wanted them to get rid of him in the first place, so I said we should bring him back.
Yeah.
You got to draft someone. For everyone knows, Charles, since he's part of the team now, he's been helping me put together a draft list, and we've been looking at many different players that could help off the edge. So we've been trying to find some.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you guys are doing a hell of a job too, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. It's just, it just shows you got to put money in positions you think are going to help you. And I can't fault Chris Jones because he's more that guy in the middle. He really isn't.
He's one guy.
His position, in my opinion, from my way I'm looking at the game, and I could be wrong, he's not. He isn't supposed to do all that. He's supposed to basically stop the middle, maybe get some bad passes, but he does get some sacks occasionally, get some pressure. But over time, we've noticed that Chris Jones kind of gets held up in the middle. It's like, where are you at, man?
Yeah, where's the help? I mean, where's the help?
Or where is he like not breaking it? Because sometimes it seems like he's not. I'm not saying he's not trying, but he's trying to bat the pass, and like you're not able to bat the pass sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So
it
seems like he's held more than any player on our team.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
God, he just like every time I slow film down, I don't see somebody's hand not holding him. Or he's got 4 guys. It's crazy how it is pretty insane that you can look at it from a different standpoint and go, okay, you've got Frank Clark, you've got Melvin Ingram, and then you have Jaron Reed that was supposed to be something that he wasn't. But yet Chris Jones draws more attention than everybody else does when it comes to people trying to keep him at bay.
It just shows they have to invest in pass rush and they have to do it accordingly. That means they're going to have to draft really well.
Yeah.
Find
somebody in free agent. There's a lot of them out there.
The thing is, I don't know if you're going to. I was listening to radio and it's kind of like, are there going to be any good ones out there? That's going to be the hard thing, though, too. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping something comes up. I'm really hoping.
Yeah. I'm getting texts left and right for some reason. I want to see if any of them.
Oh, Dick Vermeil, he won. He's in the Hall of Fame. It looks like. Dick Vermeil. Yeah, he's on the coach finalist. Will be enshrined as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2022. Yeah. Former Chiefs coach.
That's awesome.
When was he here?
2002? No. Was it 02? I think 02 to 05 or 06, maybe 07, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Because Herman Edwards was there, I think in 08.
08.
No, 06, something.
I don't remember what year Vermeil left, but he was here, I think, for 4 or 5 years. I can't remember now. The most I remember about Dick Vermeil is cried about everything.
Yeah, I think you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, he just cried.
Mm.
Um, he just, I mean, everything. He was the most emotional guy I've ever seen. Uh, if a player did really well during a game, he cried about it. If a player got
Mm.
injured, oh my God, he cried on the field.
I mean, that's
Um,
when he showed he cared. He showed
he did
emotion.
care. The one thing about him, he cared. He cared
Mm-hmm.
about everybody. He treated them all like, when you look at all of our coaches that we've had since really '89 moving forward, I'd say the three most heartfelt and intelligent coaches we've had was Marty Schottenheimer, Dick Vermeil, and Andy Reid, of course. I think Dick Vermeil, he always, when he was with the Rams, it was always that really heavy offense, really weak defense. So they had to score 50 points a game.
Yeah.
Um, and that kind
Real
of,
quick.
yeah,
Sorry, JP, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do the show on turf, that team, do you think they're similar to the Chiefs? Because they were red hot for a couple years and they kind of dropped. Do you think the Chiefs are going to have into that issue? Do you think they're going to be
no,
better than them?
no, I think they're going to be better because they have better weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything about Kurt Warner. I'm not saying anything about Torrey Holt or any of those guys, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that they have a better coaching. We have a better coach. We have a better quarterback. We have better weapons as far as wide receivers, and we have a
Mm-hmm.
lot more packages
That's true.
than Dick Vermeil ever had. Um,
Yep.
a lot of improv happened during, that era for
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Warner and Torrey Holt and all those guys. It was a lot of improv. There wasn't a lot of designed plays that um, they really followed. There was times that most of the time it was just them doing what they had to do to get downfield. And Kurt Warner was very accurate and
Yeah, he knew what to do.
he knew what to do. And he had a couple of great, great wide receivers and he had a phenomenal running back.
Ouch. Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, when you think about, Marshall Falk and himself that could do everything, you know, that was, it was a great thing to watch. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
was phenomenal to watch those guys do it. But Kurt Warner also took another team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It
the
wasn't
Cardinals.
the Cardinals, so it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just the Rams, and it wasn't just the head coaching. It was Kurt Warner.
Mm-hmm.
He was very very good at what he did, and got to give credit to that man because he knows football very well. He has a YouTube channel. It's
Oh, he
called
does?
yeah, it's called QB
Oh,
Confidential,
wow.
and he talks about, and it's weird because a lot of people don't. I don't know why, but they don't really pay attention to a lot of. He doesn't get a lot of likes, a
Mm.
lot of followers. I don't know why because he really has some great insight, and he's been around the game for so long that he can see things before it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's going over this, and soon we're going to have the same situation because we're going in that direction, but and hopefully we can, I know football, football, but it's a different perspective from a player that played the position, 2 Super Bowls, did everything that he did. Um, to listen to him because he played the game. Um, and he did it at a very high level. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
people should really pay attention to his QB confidentials. He puts them out on Twitter when he posts them, and he gives people a lot of insight. I mean, I've learned a lot from just
Well, he
watching
played the
them.
position. Has been to 2 Super Bowls, won one, so
Yeah,
he knows what's expected, what to do. So I mean, this shows you how great he is.
exactly. And he understands defensive positioning, and he will show you, like, when a quarterback makes a mistake by, you know, maybe throwing into traffic when there's a gap that's,
Mm-hmm.
8, 7 to 8 yards wide, and you can see which direction a safety is going to break. That's something that Kurt Warner has. It's something that Pat Mahomes has. If you can see a safety that's going to break one direction prior to them doing that or making that move, that always gives you that open spot in the middle.
Sure.
And that's why Travis Kelce has been so successful over the middle, is because Mahomes can see that. Um, that's something that Warner always, he always brings up, and he critiques quarterbacks, and he critiques, offensive linemen, he critiques defensive players because of the way they may um, not really be able to read a quarterback very well.
Mhm.
Mahomes is extremely hard to read as well, so he he has his critiques about Mahomes as well. There's things that Mahomes does that he says, because he's old school, and he says
Yeah.
that Mahomes shouldn't be doing those certain things, but he's been successful at it, so why stop?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
Mahomes is a generational talent. I mean, he's gonna do what's kind of works best for him. I mean, that's kind of what we
exactly.
see.
Yeah. So, but people ought to pay attention to that, because I think if you really want to understand the game,
Mhm.
then pay attention to it, because he teaches you things that, all you guys that want to sit there and talk about, how a quarterback plays or doesn't play, or how a defensive, a DB plays or doesn't play. He can break that down for you and give you the reasons why that they may struggle or they may be doing great.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I watch it all the time.
Mhm.
And it's pretty cool to listen to him break it down in the way he does. He's better at it than a lot of people are. So anyway, moving forward, we've had some moves.
Mhm.
Um, Charles put an article out about one of them, Joe Cullen. What did you
Mhm.
think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Defense looks like he's gonna bring some fiery passion
Yeah.
to the defensive line.
Yeah.
My hope is we can somehow get Josh Allen, the defensive lineman, Josh Allen, in a
Yeah.
trade because he knows him. If we could somehow pull that off and get him, that'd be nice.
Yep.
If
Yep.
that would be very nice if we could somehow do that. I don't know what we would have to give up, but that'd be really nice if we could do it.
Well, I mean, sometimes you have
What are
to.
you hearing about that? Is it even a possibility?
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. It's funny with Veach, when you really, in the grand scheme of things, if it when it comes down to it, I I'll get a call and they'll say, "Hey, Veach is looking at this particular player," but you kind of already know he is, because Veach looks at that talent prior to anyone, and he sees the talent 2 years back or a year back.
Mhm.
Sometimes, depending on if it's a draft pick, you can see them as far as back as middle school. But um, he's definitely a player on his radar. He's
Mhm.
got, I think, the last I heard, he had 17 different players in the league right now that he's got his eye on. It's on his
Okay,
radar.
that's pretty good.
So
17 is not bad.
no, um, he's
Hopefully they can make some deals.
yeah. I mean, he's just got to make some moves that, like he always does. I mean, that's the last thing I'm really concerned about is Veach making moves, because he knows how to do it.
Mhm.
Um, I still believe we'd have had Allen Robinson last year, if it wouldn't have been for Nagy not having the juice or and when I say that, what I mean is he didn't have enough. He didn't have the trust of the ownership enough to be able to pull that off.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's not a slight on him. That's just the fact that
Mhm.
he wasn't winning. Um, I don't think he was ready to be a head coach, and
Mhm.
they knew it. They picked him up because, of course, he was under Andy Reid.
And this is what I'm
And
gonna say, JP. And I don't mean to cut you off, my friend.
mm,
But if Matt Nagy can get a head coaching job by doing that little with the Chiefs, then EB should have no problem getting a job. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, we everybody not beating. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a big fan of EB. I think he's done a pretty good job now this last season. I mean, you're also gonna be tough times, but I will say is that if you can have someone like Matt Nagy get a job,
yeah.
you saw how Terry is. See someone like him get a job, and you're telling me EB can't even get one. He's interviewed how many times? Like 15 times. It's something wrong there. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna
Well,
say.
I think it's a combination of things, and I brought this
Yeah,
up
but I
in.
don't think that. I don't know. I just kind of feel like Matt Nagy. I was like, he's getting the head coaching job. The way he was only offensive coordinator, I think, for 1 year.
Yeah,
EB's been the offensive coordinator for 5 years. He has helped set multiple records. So
yeah.
I don't know what Andy Reid said, but apparently the same stuff didn't work for EB. And I that just makes no sense for life of me. You see these high power offenses, okay, you're gonna say the offensive coordinator, and there's just so much information flowing around about it. It just makes no sense to me.
Well, I've heard, as I've told you numerous times, that he interviews extremely bad.
And
Horrible
and I'm
interview.
not saying you're wrong, but then also
Yeah.
some people are saying he does good. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying you, but I'm just
Yeah.
it's just so much stuff out there. It's like,
Yeah.
who knows what's going on?
Well,
It
I
just
think
makes no sense. He has a 9 hour interview with the Saints and doesn't get the job. You tell me I'm gonna waste 9 hours of my time. I would have gone home after the first 30 minutes if I would have known this was gonna happen.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
weirdly enough, there's still, from what I heard, there's still ties with him and the Saints as an OC.
I would not go there because they wasted my time for 9 hours.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That makes
But
no sense. Yeah, was he the Rooney Rule hire? I mean, was he the Rooney Rule applicant?
no, I don't believe so.
Okay, because it
I
just seems like, come on, you can have the man in there for 9 hours. I don't know. It just
from
makes
what
no
I
sense.
understand, Sean Payton, excuse me, played a big part in that. He wanted his boy in there, and
He decided to step away.
I know, but he still has their ear, just like
Mm.
Philadelphia. Andy still has Philadelphia's ear. So I think that he stepped in, and he intervened, and he had something to say about it. When it comes to, I guess, experience and,
Mhm.
of course, ties always get you somewhere. Your name,
Yeah,
your
it's not
name
who
can
you
pull. Yeah, exactly.
if you know someone, they'll get you in the door.
Exactly. It's not.
I've seen that happen before, so
Yeah.
it's crazy.
The old saying,
Very,
it's not
very
what you
crazy.
know, it's who you know. It
Mhm.
usually gets you where you want to be. So,
Yep.
but again, I believe that if he wouldn't have stepped in, EB would have gotten the job.
Mhm.
Was it a job was it the most ideal job? No.
I think he would have been able to do something. We got Jameis coming back.
Yeah.
You
He
still
just
got
had
some
a,
weapons. I think they would have been able to figure something out.
well,
That's
it
just
depends
my
on their
opinion.
GM. I mean,
That's true.
you know,
But they're in cap. They don't have. They struggling from that
dude,
standpoint.
that's my point. I mean, what are you going to do when you're $70 million in cap hell and you got nothing to show for it? I mean, it's a difficult situation. It's going to take a special guy to be able to go in there, and even really with the GM, I mean, it's going to be a special guy to go in there and fix that problem. We were fortunate enough that when we were in cap hell, we got Veach, and Veach was able to get us out of it within a year, and still be able to get us to where we are right now. But not everybody's Veach, so
yeah, that is true.
it takes a very special individual to be able to pull off something like that. And I don't know if I didn't hear a whole lot other than that's really what caused the issue was Sean Payton stepping in.
They're just like, man, you had the man there for 9 hours, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Well,
that makes no sense.
And the crazy part is that's the longest interview he's ever had.
9 hours, JP. That's a 9 hour interview.
I know.
That means you sat down, you ate probably lunch and dinner at least. No, 9 hours. Yeah, you probably had a lunch, dinner, breakfast, maybe a couple snacks.
Yeah.
To me, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say from that standpoint.
That's true. I mean, I agree with you. There's a lot of different speculation going around about why he isn't getting a job. In fact, one of the higher, I think it's Albert, what's that guy's
Greer?
name? Yeah. He said it was a combination of things. It was a combination of all his arrests, his past, what they've heard now, and what went on this year, which I don't know if his past has anything to really do with it. I don't think that would really play as much of a part now as his interviewing style and what went on this year. I think those are the two things that really bit him in the butt this year. Last year,
I'm just saying, if you look at the last couple years, you would think
somebody would have hired him.
You would think, just saying out the numbers alone.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of interviews.
Yeah, 15. So.
Yeah. And then he had a 4-minute interview. So
yeah, then that's what you told me. Yeah, you said you had I don't forget who it was. It's just something small. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's
So
we will see what happens from that standpoint. Looking at the draft, there's anyone you don't have to say, but sorry, looking at the off season, and we can put the draft in this too. What would you consider to be the number one need for the Chiefs? Defensive line, more particularly an edge rusher, or wide receiver 2? Which one would you say is the number one move this offseason?
That's
What's your
almost an
stance?
even keel. I would I would fair to say edge rushers more than a wide
So you
receiver
would
too.
you do edge rusher in the draft, or would you do it in free agency?
I mean, I'd have to see the free agency list, but I would want look when it comes to edge rushers, they it's not like a you have to have a lot of technique,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to have all the strength in the world, but you have to have technique. And I think in the draft, unless you find that special talent, that Derek Thomas style talent,
It's hard to find that.
it's very hard to find. So I would almost have to say if there's somebody out there viable in the 25 to 26, 20, even, or, maybe even 27-year-old range that you can bring in 24 to
Mm-hmm.
27, I'll put it that way,
Okay.
that already has enough experience, has the speed, has the technique to be able to jump off the ball and get to the quarterback. I would
Mm-hmm.
rather go that direction than the draft when it now as far as the draft is concerned, would I want depth? Well, yeah. I mean, you want depth on your defensive line and you want to bring those guys in and groom them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in that mindset that for the next 3 to 4 years, you want to um, beef your defensive line up and get them there quickly, I would want to go out of the free agency realm if there's somebody out there that is worth picking up. I mean, we've seen, you know, the free agency list right now is insane. I mean, there's so many
There's some good
players.
players out there.
Yeah, so that would be my take, but and it may be unpopular, it may be popular, but
So you're saying that you would go with edge rusher, defensive line in free agency.
yeah, I would if I could find the right fit
Mm-hmm.
in the right age group that has the speed and the technique to be able to do what they need to do, I would go in free agency before I went
Okay.
to the draft, because draft is going to take time to develop that technique that is
Mm-hmm.
different than from college to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
For most, I mean, 99% of the players is different.
Okay.
Um, just like a lot of other positions are different from, the speed's different, the game's different, everything's different. So you got to get somebody, if you're going to pull the draft, you better find somebody, like I said, that has that Derek Thomas, that talent. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be able to fix the problem quickly, uh, if you want to bring somebody in out of the draft
Mm-hmm.
that is going to learn from one of these guys that you may pick up out of free agency that is very, very good, has the technique, has the speed and the strength to be able to get to a quarterback quickly, then that's fine. But I still believe that free agency would probably be the way to go for a younger player that is a proven player. I'll put it that way.
I got you. I think from my perspective, this is a tough one because the defense can do. I feel like our defense is built to stop people, but when the offense struggles, it struggles mightily. So, unfortunately, JP, I'm gonna have to say wide receiver too. And the reason why I'm saying that having another option is gonna help us. I think we can still find a defensive lineman, but I think having another offensive weapon can really help the team in tough positions, like we saw with against like the Bengals. Our
Yeah.
defense was there. Our defense was the most part doing everything, but the offense was stagnant. And when the offense became stagnant, it hurt the team.
Yeah.
So I think if you really want to, and there's another thing, Veach, you can get it really, you could flip a coin, say either one of these options are number one. If you really want to, you could probably find someone in free agency wide receiver, but you're going to find a probably impactful starring defensive lineman edge rusher in the free agency, but just the wide receivers when it comes to draft are loaded. And also even the free agency is pretty good too. So I think you can, and maybe I'll switch it, but I think you get defensive lineman, but you can also get a good other wide receiver to help combination. There's a lot of players there I think that can kind of help. So
Yeah,
to me, honestly, and I'm going to say it's more of a coin flip.
it is. I mean, it's tough because, yeah, do you want an Allen Robinson? Well, hell yeah. Do you
Now, how much is he
also,
going to want?
exactly. And then you got to look at it, what we have right now, and a full season or full off season with Josh Gordon may give us
Mm,
another 4 or 5 years with a phenomenal wide receiver.
mm,
So that can be that threat that everybody's been missing with Sammy. Um, the whole the topic and the question's been brought up about Sammy coming back. We've
Oh
seen
no,
that numerous times. I don't think that's going to happen.
no, there's no way that's gonna happen, man.
No, no.
He's too injury prone.
Yeah, he's injury
Sammy
prone,
plays
and
like 5 games a year and wants top dollar money. I like Sammy Watkins, but I just think it's just not going to work. We need someone who's going to be there consistently, week in, week on. Sammy, he plays a couple. Actually, Sammy has had, I think, 3 good games with the Chiefs over the 3 years he's with the Chiefs. 3 great games.
yeah,
Other than that, he's had mediocre games. Has been injured.
yeah.
That is not good.
And the
You
crazy
need
part
someone
is, a
consistent.
phenomenal route runner,
Yeah.
and he's fast. He just can't see. He's made of glass. It's a hard situation.
I just don't
because,
know what he saw by going to the Ravens.
He saw an opportunity to not be in the shadows of Tyreek Hill. And
Well, he
not
was
be,
in the shadows of Lamar and then run the ball. I mean, that was kind of
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I think he looked at it like, okay, if they're going to pass the ball, it's going to come to me instead of me being the decoy for Tyreek and for Kelsey and for even Hardman for that matter, because that's pretty much what he was in the 19 season when Hardman came in and he had a phenomenal year. So when you're, I guess the thing is, in your own mind, when you're really talented, you kind of disregard the injury prone area of it. And you just look at your talent side, and he felt like that he was more talented to being a decoy. But again, I don't know if there's any love loss between the two. I kind of heard there was to a degree on Sammy's part, but I don't see him coming back. I just don't see it happening. There's too many other players out there that aren't injury prone, that want to come and play here, that see the opportunity to play here. And, when you take the Sammys and the Jujus out of the mix, look at all of the wide receiver talent that's out there right now, that some want to come here, some are in free agency. The contract's up. Another, I was going to ask you about this. The reason I brought up the the running backs earlier is because there is a particular running back that has had a couple of injuries, but was one of the most phenomenal running backs when he came out of college, and that's Saquon Barkley. And his name has been brought up a few times within not real people talk. I mean, not viable conversations between teams or rumor mill, but it's been brought up by the fans. What do you think of a Saquon Barkley coming to Kansas City and maybe moving, trading, like, just put it like this, a good example. Say if they sent CEH to New York and brought Saquon Barkley in, what would you think of something like that?
I will be the one running to the phone and saying yes, quicker than Brett Veach.
Yeah.
Look,
yeah.
Saquon is a great running back, all around dominant.
Yeah.
I know he's had a couple injuries, but put him behind our offensive line with our scheming, with our coach, with our play callers, dude, I'm telling you right now, that will be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I like Clyde, but I would make that trade in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You got to make a trade like that. I don't know like the money he's going to want. Now, compensation though, what are they going to want? We're maybe looking possibly maybe a 3rd round pick, maybe high 2nd, maybe 3rd. Probably Veach could probably talking to a mid 3rd or maybe even a 4th.
Yeah.
Probably the 3rd was be better for them. But dude, if they could somehow land Saquon Barkley, that would be phenomenal. And actually, I'm gonna talk with our guys about that, because if they could land Saquon Barkley, JP, we would not have no issues with the running game ever again.
No.
Saquon Barkley is a generational talent, and his career is being wasted on the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Seriously, his career is being wasted. Look, if it's gonna come around where he's gonna have there's gonna be a chance where he could come to our team. I think it is very,
There's still a
very
chance that it can happen.
possible.
But, there is a chance that it can happen. When I
Have you been hearing anything? Because I know we kind of saw some fan tweets about it.
I asked after I saw it, the tweets, and
Mhm.
I just wanted to ask so I could put people's minds at ease because I got a lot of DMs about it. But um, what I heard is that there was a possibility. Um, it really depends on compensation, and it depends on what the Giants want in return.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, if they want another running back, we can give him CH.
yeah.
I mean, we can go off of the playoff games. He runs hard if we really want to go that route.
Well,
The
it's
Chiefs can.
the thing is that I would like to see, I would love to see him here, but I tell you, somebody I would like to see back from the New York Giants is Reggie Ragland.
That'd be good. Reggie Ragland would be that good third linebacker.
Yeah. I mean, he was, if it wasn't for money, he'd still be here. That
Mhm.
was a money trade.
I
That
would have
wasn't
paid
anything
them.
else.
I would have paid
too.
him.
I would have too. Um, I would love to see him come back. He's still playing at a high level, and we've had, the luck of, speaking with him and interacting with him, and
Very nice guy.
very nice guy. And I believe he'd want to come back here. Um, when we played the Giants, I told him, I said, if you accidentally end up in the wrong locker room with the wrong jersey on, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Yep.
And he just cracked up because
Mhm.
he knows. I mean,
Mhm.
he knows that. I think he knows in his own mind that not only was the extra little bit of money not worth it, but the fact of being able to come and play with Kansas City now would be
Mhm.
just, you know, a
They
dream.
could bring him back. It would be a really good move.
It would be a great move.
I think it could help.
Yeah, he knows the scheme, he knows the system, he knows the players. The players like him. Um, I think he'd be a great addition times,
Mhm.
round two, I should say. Um, but I would love to see him come back. That's just my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you. I think it's a really good chance. If they can get him, they could somehow get Saquon Barkley. I'd be very, very happy because then we
Yep.
would have no issues from the running back position.
Yeah.
And I mean, you never know. I mean, Veach could pull something off. The thing is, though, are the Giants in rebuild mode? That's the thing. Can their new coach help them? So
It seemed like they
that's
are kind of going to be in rebuild mode. I know the
so
Raiders are
it's
going to
like
be in
you might as well
rebuild
just get the
mode.
picks and call it a day. If we're being honest, I mean,
Well,
but
yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see there's probably 3 or 4 teams out there right now that are, some are in a 75% rebuild mode, and some of them are in all out just revamp completely. I think the Raiders are going to be one of those teams that completely revamp.
They probably will because they got a new coach, someone else in there now, so they're probably going to be doing some things that we didn't expect.
Well, you got to figure GM, coach, it's a whole new regime. They lost their really good, one of the better special teams coaches, and he ended up in Green Bay, and well deserved. So,
Well, they
it's
need a
gonna,
special teams coordinator after what we saw in the divisional round.
yeah, yeah, they definitely. Um, but it's I got a feeling they're going to be in a rebuild mode for the next few years, and I don't know what he's going to do with Carr.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing right there. We don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
No, because he has a different mindset. McDaniel has a different mindset than most people do. If he goes in there and he tries to pull a 2010 Josh McDaniel, then you're going to see.
He's not going to do that again.
Yeah,
That
let's
is
hope
not
he doesn't
happening.
make that mistake again. But
I heard he's a smart coach.
He is a smart coach.
He knows what he's doing, but he caught up in that Spygate stuff. Spygate stuff where you can't do that.
Yeah.
So
well, when you do it with a different football team, I mean that's even worse. I mean
Yeah.
you get a head coaching position at a very young age, and then you don't see another head coaching position. Well, you actually shit on the Colts, which is what he did. The day they were going to announce it, he decided to stay with New England.
Yep.
Which I mean, in my opinion, I think it turned out better for the Colts, but
I feel like it turned out better for him.
well, it may have, but I think as far as a coaching standpoint, I think they have a more likable coach and a coach that's more player oriented.
Yeah, he was more other guys more Belichick. Like, we're gonna do what we're supposed to do. That's kind of how it's gonna be. See, a lot of players, they do not like playing in Foxborough.
No, they do not.
But they want to go for the champions. They want to go for the win. So I mean,
yeah. Well, now they don't care as much.
Oh yeah, Brady's not there, so
Yeah, so they feel like their window of opportunity with everybody is gone, not just Brady, but all the other stuff that went on during that 20-year period is no longer really happening with them anyway. So they're kind of in a rebuild mode themselves. I mean, it's no matter how you look at it. So, but they do have Belichick, and he is, a great defensive-minded coach, probably one of the best, and he can always develop a team that has a top 3 to top 5 defense, and you don't have to have the greatest quarterback. I mean, he did it for a long time. So, and when you really look at it, I mean, Brady's playoff numbers and Super Bowl numbers are dismal compared to a lot of other quarterbacks. So, I was going to ask you, what did you think about Mac Jones getting to the Pro Bowl?
I mean, he had a solid quarterback. I think he deserved to make it based on kind of what we saw.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. I think he's a good quarterback, and he's only going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, weirdly enough, it didn't seem like it. He had like 34 touchdowns or something. I mean, he had a decent season.
Yeah, a good season, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just curious. A lot of people complained about him being in there, so
it's the Pro Bowl, man. I mean, it really doesn't matter at this point. It's a vacation. It's just like Shannon Sharp said, I just went there for vacation. I wasn't even prepared to play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
There was something else we had to talk about, and I'm trying to think of what that was. The signings that we made, the futures, and then some of the people that we brought in. You got the list in front of you?
I do not. I don't have access to it.
We had we made a couple of moves. I mean, of course, Cullen was one of them, but we signed a pretty good wide receiver.
Omar Bayless from Arkansas State.
Yeah, and I think he's going to ball out. In the draft, there's a kid that plays, and I'm not going to say he's a quarterback. Kind of built like Russell Wilson. I think he plays for Liberty.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He's
that
really
kid
good.
There, man. I mean, if they end up moving on from Chad Henne and could somehow pull him in, he'd be a great backup to Mahomes.
I mean, that guy's gonna be top. He's probably gonna be the number 1 or number 2 pick. It'd be nice, but I mean, it'd be
even with his size, his height. I mean, he does have that height issue. He's not a very tall guy, but
well, so Wilson's not that tall. He's been doing pretty good year after year.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And that kid's kind of a bulldozer. He puts people on their back when he's running. He's not afraid to take a hit. That's for sure. So how many? So let's see. We picked up 7 futures deals. One of them we had to let go of. And then we've made 3 more deals since then. We did sign. Let me find. Can't think of his name right now. Hayward.
Oh.
Actually, I was kind of wondering what you thought about that.
I mean, I think it's a good move. I think what we said that in the day adding more depth. I think they're primarily bringing more guys in for camp, bringing them and now seeing what they can do when it comes to camp. They'll be able to kind of see, all right, what are their specialties in and how can they help this team win? And what they'll see is they'll bring in them mainly because for protection, because you never know. They may not get the guy they want. They're kind of the next best thing. I mean, you're always trying to find the next best player, and that's what the Chiefs are doing. That's what they were doing all the time.
To MVP, by the way.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But from what I see it, man, I think Veach knows what he's doing from that standpoint. He's been very, very helpful to everyone. So I think Veach will find someone for real help. My bad. He will help someone. He will find someone. And when he does, like these guys he has here, they're probably going to make an impact. Especially, we're praying that Omar Bayless gets his shot.
Yeah.
I really hope he does.
I agree. We signed Jonathan Woodward.
Defensive lineman, or is he?
Let's see. He is, defensive lineman.
Okay, that's not bad.
5 years. Played for the Jags, the Falcons, the Dolphins, the Bills.
Jags, Falcons, Dolphins. Okay, that sounds bad. That's not bad.
Thought it was a good signing. I think he could be some. He can make some. He can make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a pretty. I was wondering what you kind of thought about that signing because I thought that was a pretty strong one.
I think honestly, I think that right there could help because defensive line, we already know what we got. We know the players we need to get rid of, and that's kind of the issue right here, right there from that standpoint.
Yeah,
So I
it
mean,
shows that Veach is going after positions of need, which is
yeah,
nice.
trying to get multiple people of those players in to see what can happen.
Exactly,
So, mhm.
exactly.
Yep, no, I agree with you, man.
Yeah, so I was kind of wondering what you thought about that.
Mm,
Thought about that pickup because I thought I was when I saw that I thought, wow, um, that's just Veach going after positions of need, and
mm-hmm,
everybody complained that he did what he did in the off season with the offensive line, didn't do anything about the defense. You can only rebuild so much at one time,
mm-hmm.
and you can't rebuild an entire team in one season. But
You
what
can,
he did was he rebuilt enough to get us to the AFC Championship game again.
and that's what you need. That's
Yeah,
what you need.
exactly. And now
Now you know what you need to change for the future and to get past that hurdle.
exactly. And that's what he's doing. He's taking off chunks. He's basically just slicing each piece of the pie. And I think he's doing a phenomenal job at it.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot more moves that are coming over
Yep.
the next, 6 months. So,
Probably next couple, yeah, week pretty soon, March 1st. I mean, we're gonna see free agency and stuff going down. So
oh
for real.
man, when that happens, I mean, that's going to be, this is free agent frenzy right now this year. I mean, this is going to be a year of a lot of moves being made and a lot of, I think, unexpected moves,
Mm-hmm.
not just by the Chiefs, but by every football team.
Oh yeah,
Um,
people are gonna be moving on for certain players. It's gonna be a lot of reshuffling.
yeah. And we're going to be right there for it, putting the articles out and putting out the
Mm-hmm.
podcast and, you know, you guys and doing your drafts and everything's just going to be awesome. With with us and moving forward with everything.
Mm-hmm.
With you guys at the helm of doing, especially with the draft and everything that you guys have been able to put together. You're the draft guru, so
All right, man, you're the man behind with the brain, so we appreciate all the help you're doing for real.
yeah. Well, I don't know about brains, but I figure out a way of getting through it. But anyway, it's going to be a great off season. This
Mm-hmm.
is probably one of the most, I think, intriguing off seasons we've had in a long time.
Yep,
Um,
I
which
agree, man. This will be good
there's
for real. We'll
it
be able to
really will
cover
be.
all that.
Yeah, with all the free agents that we have and who's going to stay, who's going to go. We made our predictions of who's going to stay and who's going to go last week on the show, and um, it's just going to be. You never know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
somebody asked me if we should keep Hardman. Yes, we should
Yeah,
keep
we need to
Hardman.
keep Hardman. I mean, I don't know what the. Yeah, we should keep
I don't know why
Hardman.
anybody keeps asking that question. He's finally gotten into his own
Mm-hmm.
and gotten his confidence
Towards
back.
the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yep.
and his drop percentage went way down. I mean, 2.9% compared to 14.3 or
Mm-hmm.
something the prior year. Um, we add a piece to the puzzle, and you got a premier gadget slash deep threat, really wide receiver that can pretty much do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Come out of the backfield. He can. He's great in the short yardage because his yards after catch are great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I did read something that between Hardman, Pringle, Kelsey, and Tyreek Hill, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we were the number one team in yards after catch.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So that's pretty strong. I mean, that's a lot to say for one football team, especially with a couple of really young guys, and
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, your veterans that are the two best, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
One undoubtedly the best in the league in Travis Kelsey, and then Tyreek Hill, the most feared wide receiver in the league, and still the fastest wide receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see what Veach does and what Andy
Oh, for sure.
does in this offseason. I'll just put it
Mhm.
that way.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. It's gonna be very interesting. Gonna be a lot of good things happening.
Guarantee it.
So, but yeah,
But anyway, I don't know. Do you got anything else, man?
I
I
I
mean,
think we're all good to go, man. We kind of covered everything.
yep.
Mm.
Well, everybody out there, just keep following. Check out the website. We've done some changes to it. Cheesefocus.com. Make sure you subscribe. It's free. Um, our online store is going to be up here pretty quick. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it'll be up and running. So you'll be able to buy merch. The first 1,000 followers get a free Chiefs logo t-shirt. And we've got a new podcast on board. As if anybody's not noticed yet, check it out. Thiz decided to join Chiefs Focus, and he's got the 100-yard dash on our website. So all you got to do is just go out there and check it out. It's on there. Just click on podcast. There's a drop down, and we're going to be adding more podcasts as we go, and we're going to be adding more depth to our website as far as I guess let's just say diversity to our website.
Yeah, we're gonna be adding a lot of different things,
Yes.
branching different areas, allowing people to see different coverages, and especially kind of with the draft, free agency. You're gonna be seeing a lot of different things, even the off season when the dead space. We're gonna have a lot of different things. I think you guys, the fans, will enjoy.
Correct. So, and we're going to keep on top of all the trades and the moves. And if there's any rumors, breaking news, we're going to get them out there to you as quickly as we can. And just keep following and keep listening because we're going to be following and listening every bit of this whole off season because that's
Yep.
what we do. So, to keep yourself abreast of what's going on with Chiefs Kingdom and other areas in sports, keep following because we're going to be bringing it in.
Sure.
With that being said, I think that's about it, bro.
Yeah, I think we're all good, man.
All right, man. Well, you guys, we will talk to you after this. Well, we're going to do a spaces on Saturday because it seems like everybody tends to love those. And we're going to try and do that around 11 or noon
11 or noon CT time.
CT time. So everybody get ready for that. And then we will talk to you after the Super Bowl and we'll talk about, oh, do you have a Super Bowl prediction? Oh, we already
Rams
did.
by, huh?
Well, go ahead.
Rams.
Rams. Yeah, that's what I say too.
That's what I'm gonna say. Rams. I'm gonna give them about 5.
I'm gonna give him about 20. But
Hey, you never know, man. You never know.
I got a feeling Joe Burrow is going to see the ground more than he sees anything else. So I think Donald's going to put him on his back, but unless they can figure out a way of stopping him, which I don't think they can. But anyway, that's cool. I'd like to see the Rams win it, especially for Matthew Stafford. I think he deserves it. I really do.
Yep.
Guy's had a rough career at 33 years old. He hasn't had the best when he's been the best or one of the best. So I think he had a good year and I think he deserves to be where he's at. And I think he's going to come out victorious. So
I agree.
That being said, we will talk to you guys on Saturday and then again on Sunday. Keep an eye on the website because things are popping up as we come along.
Yep.
All right, Chiefs Kingdom. Peace
See you next
out.
time, guys. See you guys.